Stay tuned for today's Antidote, brought to you by the Renegade Success Network. Today's Antidote features a healthy dose of thought-provoking insights and information for business owners, entrepreneurs, leaders, and nonprofit professionals. Each day since March of 2020, this program has offered that one thing to help you continue on your own unique pathway to success. And now, Renegades, we bring you Bob Graham and Tom Brush.
I had to do it with one hand because my other hand is holding the phone.
Okay, that was not one of your more stellar.
And it's Tuesday. No, it's Tuesday. I'm sorry, Tom. I took a break to do this from driving around the Capitol Beltway, and it's a parking lot. And when I say it's a parking lot, I got out of my car for several minutes. That's a parking lot. When you're on a major highway in an urban area and you can get out of your car for several minutes, stretch your legs, talk to the guy next to you, that's a parking lot. That's not a highway.
Good. That's not good.
Yeah. So
anyhow, well, good morning, everyone. This is today's Antidote, our daily broadcast where we try to provide one thing around a discussion point that will hopefully help you move forward sometime today, maybe, or sometimes in the future, so that you can continue to find your next step and continue along your own unique pathway to success. So our conversation this week is around professional brand. And as we go through that conversation, if you have some comments, please feel free to share them in the comment section. And at the end, Bob and I will each offer our one thing about professional brand and when it matters. But if you have something to add as well, please do, because we know that while what we offer may be beneficial to someone, what you share as well can make a difference for someone today or somewhere down the line in the future. So let's dive right into it, Bob, unless you have anything else you want to talk about, share, promote.
No, I'm good. Let's rock and roll.
All right. So we're talking about professional brand. And yesterday we had a conversation around it. And let's talk about when it matters today. So you have some thoughts to share on that.
I do. So let me start by saying the professional brand, so we're all on the same page, is how you portray your business or organization and how others see it. So we communicate our brand. Tom did it earlier, talking about we help you figure out how to take the next step. That is the professional brand of the Renegade Success Network. And he talked about today's Antidote, our broadcast, and said, at the end, we're going to share the one thing, what we would call today's Antidote. So he's got that brand statement in there. So, and we say it every day. We reinforce it over and over and over because you're only going to hear it the day you hear it. It matters all the time, 24 hours a day. I'm pretty convinced that we are judged by the worst day of our professional brand. If you have an off day and you don't look the way you normally look, act the way you normally act, appear the way you normally appear, answer the questions, people go, whoa, wait, something's off here. This is inconsistent. If I were wearing a tuxedo today, I'd be like, what's going on? What's he up to? And
tuxedos a lot. You need to show up.
I know. Well, a tall guy like me, that's a challenge, but you never know. It could happen. But I think our professional brand, it matters more than we realize, because the consistency, the fact that you've said this, or I've said this, Tom, on this broadcast for 300 some odd episodes, one day someone's going to be like, oh, whoa, I didn't know they did that. I'm struggling with my next step. I wonder if these guys could help me. And you'd be like, well, I've heard this 200 times. Why did the person pay attention this day? Because today's the day what we were talking about aligned with their challenge. And that's true for all businesses. I don't need a new car right now. When I need a new car, I look at every dealership that I drive by. I listen to every ad and watch every ad on TV that comes up about cars. But the rest of the time, I don't care. But we have no way of knowing when a person is ready for what we're offering. Does that make any sense?
No, it definitely does. I think, and it's interesting. You said we're judged by our worst day. I think we're judged by our worst moment.
Yeah.
if the right people
Yes.
are around us. And nowadays, everything is captured. So even though you think you might be acting out of your brand and nobody's around, so it's okay, you never know. When somebody is lurking, is going to see what you're doing, what you're saying, how you're acting. That will impact what the professional brand you have out there. And it only takes one one person who really is frustrated or upset to dramatically change what your professional brand looks like. Because that's the thing. People are always looking when, like as you said, when they really need it. And when they really need it, if you're struggling, or if the message you put out on LinkedIn wasn't the right message, it could make a difference. If the conversation you have with a staff member at a time when they desperately need it could really change how they look at the organization. If they have a pressing need and you, as their supervisor, as the owner, brush it off, they're going to look differently, not only at you as a person, but also as the organization. Is this the way the organization treats its employees? And all they have to do is go out and tell one person who tells another person who tells another person. And before you know it, a brand that you'd work really hard at for a long time has now been not destroyed, but it's been hurt and it's been changed and modified. And so now others look at it differently based on the information that they had, what was real for them. Their knowledge, experience, and perspective of the organization changed. And that can have an impact on what you do. And that's what makes it so hard. What makes business marketing and advertising and whatever so hard. You can spend, large organizations spend a ton of money trying to promote their business and why you should choose them over a competitor. And one mistake by an employee, by the marketing agency you hired, by someone else representing you or your organization, and all of that hard work can be knocked down and changed. And I think that's why people spend so much time, effort, and energy trying to get their messaging correct so that people out there believe it and see it.
I don't know if it's correct as much as aligned. Right? I think that messaging really has to align with someone's needs and interests. I don't know that there's a correct or not correct, but I think when your message aligns with the people you're trying to serve, that's when good things happen. When they hear the language that they're using in their own lives, and you're using that language, when they hear the sensibilities that are their sensibilities, and also when they get a feeling that you genuinely care, that's what matters. And I think that's where when it is not as ideal as it can be, when we're doing some branding and we kind of miss the tone somewhere, that's when people question that. Well, geez, I just don't know if I know, like, and trust this person. It really gets to two of those. I don't know this person because that's not what I expected him to say. I didn't expect Bob to just go through a tirade of obscenities right now on this broadcast. Wow, that was weird. And how can you trust me? Because if I went through a tirade of obscenities on this broadcast, pretty good chance I might do it again.
Sure.
And that would be a way that instantly our brand would just be like, whoa, okay, that's not what I thought they were. And it would take a while to recover from.
Absolutely. I mean, and I think that's the challenge you face, is that how do you, and the even bigger challenge with that is not every message you put out there is going to align with everyone. So a message you put out there that aligns with someone may be completely unaligned with a whole other host group of people. And, that balance of how do I find the message that's going to attract the most people, or the people who are most connected and aligned to what I share. You've seen it time and time again when an organization comes out and supports another organization. While that is beneficial and feels what's real for the organization and what they want to do, sometimes that also says to another group, we don't support you or your cause or what's going on with you only because we choose to support someone else. And I think those are choices that as business owners, leaders, we have to figure out, what is it that's real for us and how do we stand behind whatever it is that we have chosen to do, knowing the impact that it could have on our brand with other people, other organizations, others watching what we are doing.
So, Tom, it's that time, your favorite time and my favorite time. And I'm going to go first today because I have one. Usually I have to think about what you say and come up with one while you're saying yours. But today I have one.
All right.
And that is
What's your one thing, Bob?
Thank you for asking, Tom. That's great of you. Your professional brand matters far more often than you realize. It's when you think that you can let it down and not worry about it, that it's probably the most valuable. I've told the story before about how at a family member's funeral, I was talking to someone afterwards and they ended up becoming a client. That was a time where I could have completely not been Bob, the consistent Bob. I could have consumed more alcohol. I could have done certain things. I chose not to. I chose to be the same as I always am. And I try very often, even on the weekends, even when I'm out with friends, it's very rare that I'm not the same person because I am my brand. I am my company's brand. You are your company's brand. And so, when you're out officiating, I know because I've talked to you and I know who you are. You as an official is no different in your branding than you doing this program, you coaching someone, you working with a nonprofit organization. And people are looking all the time to see how you portray yourself. And each brand for a professional organization is the accumulation of all the personal brands.
Sure.
Right?
But that's the hard part. That's one of the hard challenges.
Yeah.
You can't
the
control
bigger the
everything.
Organization, the harder it is. Yeah.
Yes.
How about you? What's your one thing?
So I think my one thing about your professional brand when it matters, I think it matters when it matters to someone else. And that's kind of, I don't know if that makes any sense at all, but I think that it's, yes, we can feel that it matters all the time. And I think as you talked a little bit about earlier, that is true because somebody might be watching. When it really matters is when that person is looking for it. And have you put out the messages that are going to engage them, connect with them, have them feel like this is the business organization team that is going to help me achieve whatever it is I'm trying to achieve, whatever it is that I'm struggling with. And so in the same lens is that it does always matter. And it matters when that person needs it. And as I say it doesn't make sense, but in my mind, it's like, as you said, people could be thinking about 8 million other things. Then at one point they're like, wow, I need this. And that's when your brand matters. Your brand has to be in front of them at the right time, in the right place, at the right moment, so that they're saying, this is why I want to choose you for your product, your service, or to become a part of your team. Because when I saw your professional brand, it was one that resonated with me and then made a difference. So while we can do everything we can to put it out there, when it really matters is when someone else is desperate for what you have, and that message is there, it's consistent, and that they're able to easily find it and identify with it. Does that make any sense?
It absolutely does. And I was going to say, Tom, this is an area that many, many new entrepreneurs, new businesses, startups, established businesses struggle with. This is not the easy part. I think this is one of the big defining moments for a business or organization is how do you get that professional brand so that it resonates with the people you're trying to reach in a way that makes them pay attention. And so if you're someone who's struggling with that, you're not alone. Tom struggled with it. I've struggled with it. And lots of the people in our Renegade Success Network have struggled with it as well. And Tom and I have helped them become better at it because we've got some strategies and some tips and tricks. So if you're someone who's listening this week and going, wow, yeah, they're talking my language. I don't know what to do. I'm really struggling with these things. Tom or I or both of us would love to talk to you about how we might be able to help you with that.
Yes, we would. So if you have one thing you'd like to share as a part of that, please feel free to share it in the comments. We'd love to hear your thought about professional brand and when it matters. And you can also share it inside the Ring of Renegades Facebook group. If you are not yet a member, it's easy to join. Just go to Facebook, search for Ring of Renegades. And it is a private group. All you have to do is ask to join, though. And when you ask to join, we're going to ask you one question. Well, actually, I think we ask you three. But the key question is, why are you a renegade? Or what makes you a renegade? And then you can become a part of our growing group, our growing community, where we're providing a space for people to find, identify, and take their next step so that they can continue on their own unique pathway to success. So I hope we hope we'll see you inside the Ring of Renegades Facebook group. If not, we'll see you tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Eastern time for our next edition of today's Antidote. So, and if you are struggling with that brand, you may want to consider becoming a part of our Renegade Success Network, where we are helping leaders, business owners, and entrepreneurs figure out those next steps, figure out what is my brand? When is it the right time? And where should I be putting it out there so that I find those people who will identify with it? Here's some further information about the Renegade Success Network. I hope that you have a great day, and we'll see you soon.
Bada boom.
Are you struggling to make your vision a reality? Are you stuck and don't know what to do next? Are fear and doubt holding you back? The Renegade Success Network will help you determine the next steps on your pathway. Here is some of what you will get. Create your pathway call to start you on a better path. Unlimited laser solution sessions to keep you from getting stuck. Nurture your network events to build your network with other successful leaders. Monthly Renegade challenges to prepare you for what lies ahead. The Renegade Success Vault, giving you access to videos, tools, and tips on specific topics anytime you need them. And the Renegade Success Network community, an exclusive Facebook group of like-minded renegades, all working towards achieving their goals. You have a choice. Do it yourself and fumble forward slowly and alone. Or join the Renegade Success Network and be part of a community built to help you find your own pathway. Join today at renegadesuccessnetwork.com. Act now and jumpstart your journey on your own pathway to success.